Welcome back to the channel where we discuss the creative uses of AI, and today I have another potential subscription killer for you, and it's from our sponsor Open Creator. Now I know we have a lot of opens out there. This is Open Creator. This tool is all about automating your AI creative workflow. For example, starting with an idea that gets turned into a story, which gets turned into images, which gets turned into video. You can also turn that into products. You can turn it into movie posters, all with one click. Right here on the front page, they have a really great step-by-step guide to how it works. You'll see how simple and powerful it is. They have several templates you can work with. We're going to be playing with some of those. The basic concept is that you're starting on a canvas and you can place all of these nodes which do different things. It can send instructions, it can execute commands based on what you put here, and you can just keep branching off of these nodes so that you can send the output to various other tasks. Like, I want this image to become a magazine cover and a video, so you can send it to different places. Something like this may look a little complicated. It did to me at first, but it's actually super easy, and I'm going to do my best to demonstrate with examples that will show you how simple it is. To be able to give these examples some context, and particularly when we look at the workflows that created them, it's going to really help you to have a basic understanding of the tools that you have available. So let's just click a new workflow here so that I can have access to them. And as it says here, you can start by adding a new block, which is always an intimidating instruction to me, or start with a template. Let's take a look at what these blocks are. Now we have a video editor, which we'll get to in a little bit. We have input, which can be text, it can be an image, it can be a video, or it can be audio. And from those, you can do any number of things. Each of these blocks have different functions, like fleshing out a story or creating scenes. The image-based blocks allow you to do things like create images, add styles to images, describe images, replace backgrounds. And as you probably figured out, the video-based blocks will allow you to do text to video, image to video, and add sound to video, lip sync, and upscaling. And you even have the ability to do text to speech and generate music for your productions, all automated based on what you build here. Just to give you a quick example of the concept here of being able to choose different models and output, let's say we start with an idea in a text block, and it's a lone astronaut. The creative instruction that gets appended to this when we run the workflow is floats weightlessly in a dreamy postmodern space, and other descriptions of his environment. This allows us to experiment with this environment with different characters and choose as many models as we want. In this example, we've chosen all the models so that you can see all of them. They all appear in this drop-down list, and you can check or uncheck them depending on whether or not you want to see examples from them, and you also get an idea of how many credits it's going to cost to use them. If I click on Run, it's going to immediately give us the results down here. You can see the concatenated prompt, which took the lone astronaut and then the rest of it to create the prompt, and now we've got the various models creating images that we can compare. And then we can go through and choose the one we want. I really love the look of that one. But let's say we wanted to try a different character like Bigfoot and run that. Now we begin to get examples of various models' idea of what Bigfoot would look like in that environment described in that second text box. Let's take a look at some of these templates. Now you're going to recognize some of these if you're in this space at all, like this ASMR fruit thing that's going around, which is really trendy. And there's all sorts of services that allow you to do this, but with minimal customization. Here you have access to every step of the process, but they make it easier for a prompt. So let's take this one, for example, the cutting fruit ASMR, and just click on Make It Yours. Here's an example of what you're going to get. With this example prompt, apple and jelly. We want to remix that. We're going to click on remix, and it's going to load the canvas that was used to create this. So let's put the name of a food up here. We'll do chocolate cake. And name a material, and why don't we say glass instead of jelly. The creative instruction is pre-written for us, and it will say actively identify the keywords and then integrate them into the template below. And then the template below is a highly structured prompt that does all the heavy lifting for you and plugs in these two values here so that you don't have to do all this. But this is always going to give you the effect that you're looking for, and you never have to change it. Here the video model is VO3 because it's going to provide the sound you want for this ASMR effect, but you could choose any of these other models and even compare them and add the sound later. For example, let's also choose the VO3 fast model so that we can compare the results between the two of them. Now when we click on Run, we have the chocolate cake, glass, and now down here Claude 3.7 has written our full prompt. In a close-up centered frame, a pair of elegant hands slowly slice into a glass textured object shaped like a chocolate cake. And it also makes all the adjustments needed for the rest of the prompt. Now that prompt is sent over here to the text to video node where you can see these being generated. Here's our VO3 fast result. And here's the normal VO3 result. So that will give you your basic effect. But because you can add notes at any time, you could have it generate background music. You could have it take this prompt and create images out of it and create a poster for this amazing video you've done. That's outside of the scope of this video, but you can do it. Let's show you some more complex examples. The Talking Baby podcast was quite a trend a little while back. The idea is you would start with an image, it would take that image and create something like this based on a script that is created within the workflow, which I'm going to show you.
Hey friends, welcome to my podcast. It's Taylor, and I'm so excited to have you here with me.
We're going to click on Remix, and let's just look at the components so we can see what's going to happen here. So first we start with the image input. This node is going to describe the character using Claude. That description is going to be given this creative instruction, which is imagine an opening for this character's podcast, 1 to 2 sentences, warm and fun, which it does and then passes on to the text-to-speech mode. And in this case, you can add a model from 2 different sources, Fish Audio and 11 Labs, which you just choose the voice from the drop-down list that you want here. That is going to generate an audio file, which we then send up here to lip sync. Meanwhile, while all that's been happening, we're also creating the starting image by sending this image into image to image and saying, imagine this character as a baby version, leaving him in a recording studio wearing headphones and recording a podcast. It's going to use whatever combination of models you choose. If you choose multiple models, the process will stop here so that you can choose the one that you want to move forward with. Let me just click on GPT image and then I'll show you what I'm talking about there. Whichever one you choose is going to be sent to image to video with the instruction talking casually like a podcast host with gestures. You can choose from any of these models here to compare them or just choose the one you want. Runway is a good choice because it's quick. So now you see that video along with that audio is brought into this lip sync mode where we put it all together. All right, we'll put this picture of Tracy. I'm going to modify this instruction to say her. And remember, we're going to get 2 different choices here before it moves on to the image to video part. And let's click on run. We've got the 2 images being created here, one by GPT image 1 and one by Flux Context. Meanwhile, this character is being described. The text is being written based on the creative instruction. Here's what we've got so far with the audio.
Hello and welcome to Bright Ideas with Beth, where we turn everyday challenges into colorful opportunities.
So now we've got our results here. This is clearly the better result for the baby. So I'm going to choose the one that actually looks like a baby. Click on select and continue, and then it will send it on over to the video generator. The creative instruction was talking casually like a podcast host with gestures. So we just have some natural talking movement to put the lip sync on top of. So now we have this video where she's just talking into a microphone. So now the lip sync function is happening, and then we will get the final result here when it's done.
Hello and welcome to Bright Ideas with Beth, where we turn everyday challenges into colorful opportunities.
Let's wrap this up with one that looks complex but really is not that difficult now that you know how this all works. This allows us to start with a basic concept like a lone astronaut, but in this case I will say Bigfoot shopping for shoes. Let's see what this workflow does. Let's start from the top. The first one says you are a professional merchandise designer with high-end aesthetics designing art toys. So this is going to create a product based on our character Bigfoot shopping for shoes. The second line is all about the video. It takes that simple concept and says you are a professional screenwriter and your task is to write a cinematic storyboard based on the story given. I'm just going to change a couple of things. This says the character is young female and I'm going to say the character is Bigfoot. But the creative instruction to this text module is I want 10 shots to tell this story, and each shot should include the character and the subject, the features, the environment, description, composition, and visual effects. This node's going to take that output, which is going to be a lot, and it's going to create it into a storyboard. Then we take those descriptions and create an image, this case with the Hailuo Image 1 model, and then we take that image and make a video out of it with dynamic action, cinematic, blockbuster special effects, natural movement, in this case with Kling 2.1. Finally, on the last line, we are building a movie poster for this, and so you'll see that the text instruction here is just you are a professional movie poster designer. Create 3 descriptions for the poster designs based on the given storyline, and then the requirements, etc., just like we did before. Now we send all of those instructions to the image generator with the aspect ratio of a poster using these models. So let's run this and see what happens. All right, down at the bottom, we are creating the movie poster. For the movie poster, they've given us 3 different options. Let's just try all of them and we'll use the models that we have been given. We'll click compare. On the left is the Imagen version and on the right is the GPT version of each of these movie poster titles and concepts. Here we've created the entire story. We're splitting it into scenes. And in this case, we want to choose which one of these is going to drive the final merchandise. So we have Sasquatch Shopper, a 3D chibi figure, or we have size unknown premium graphic t-shirt. And all of these have very detailed descriptions. Let's go ahead and go with Sasquatch Shopper, the chibi figure, and click on select and continue. Now that's going to be added over here to create the final product. And there we have it, the Sasquatch Shopper. So we've got our merchandise. Now we've also got some choices to make down here at the video level. Which video do we want to create out of all these shots right now? I probably should have added several models here because that is something that I would do. I could stop this workflow and add models. Let's say I want to also compare Flux Pro and Dream Enough. I can go back here and click on play and it will resume. And this time I'll have various models output to choose from. Ooh, I think that's kind of the vibe I was going for in terms of looking out from the outside. So I'm going to select this one here and then click on this to resume the process. And there we've got our first video. Now that's a little bit crazy. I probably wouldn't go with that one. I probably should have changed this prompt into something a little more relaxed. Now you've got all these assets. So now you got to download them and put them in an editor, right? No, they've got an editor built in. So as you create these assets and you get the final one, you can feed them right into this video editor node. So once everything's generated, we go through and make all of our choices. Whatever we select is going to go into the editor. When I'm ready, I can click on Start Editing. This opens up an editor interface that you're probably pretty familiar with. I won't go too deep into it, but it allows you to move the clips around, change the length of them, add text, add audio, change all of that. Now, as cool as what I've showed you is, it really is just scratching that surface. There is so much else you can do with it. They have all sorts of AI workflows, script to film, sketches to film, lyrics to music video, AI album art, couple avatars generator, typography generator, all of these things with templates that help you get up and running quickly and have complete control over the process. Trust me, we will be revisiting this again. If this is the type of tool you like to learn about, well, why not subscribe to this channel? Because these are the things we seek out all the time.
If you subscribe now, I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you do not, I will look for you. I will find you. And I